it would take 228 years for the income of Africans colonized in the United States to equal that of the colonial white population. So it is absolutely necessary for me to stand here today before you expressing total opposition to the United States government terroristic actions against the people of Venezuela with an attempt to starve the people into opposition to their government.
An ever closer African Union is the wrong vehicle. It won't deliver what we want. What we want, Mr. President, sir, is the United States of Africa, one country, one entity, either a federation under one strong government, either a unitary state like China or India. One entity. We want to abolish national sovereignty, not decolonize it, abolish it, so that we have continental sovereignty. Only one sovereignty, African sovereignty, not Malawi sovereignty, Zimbabwe sovereignty. No, just one continental sovereignty.
Union of Africans started much earlier than any incursion, as it might be characterized, of China or the Trump administration into Africa. The reality is that Africa came under assault some 600 years ago when Portugal first came and captured African people and initiated the process that would begin capitalism and would establish and consolidate the identity of Europeans in the world. It is a reality that capitalism rests upon a foundation of African slavery. Africans were first capital. And in order for this to occur and to last, it was absolutely necessary to keep African people divided so that we could not resist this horrible incursion on Africa that continues up to now. I think it's important to be able to say that. I think that we have to say that we've seen example after example by African people to unite. We've seen what used to be warring tribes in this geographical terrain that we occupy at this moment, able to achieve a sense of sameness that people refer to as nations, founded on a common economy that came from slavery and colonialism. This is the basis of the unity that we see. If there is a problem with the European Union today, it is because the foundation, the economic foundation of capital, of imperialism, is being stressed by the struggles of the oppressed peoples of the world to take back their resources from this parasite that bleeds Africa, that bleeds the world, that bleeds Afghanistan, that bleeds the people of Yemen who are dying by the thousands even as we have this discussion. This is the basis of a Brexit. It can't stand together anymore because the host is rejecting the parasite. And it's creating crisis throughout Europe and throughout the imperialist world.
Malawi is sovereign. Swaziland is sovereign. Botswana is sovereign. We don't want that. We want continental sovereignty and link up with the African diaspora. Reason number two why it won't work? There are 55 presidents in Africa. 55, not 54, 55. Now, each one of them wants to be a president, a prime minister, even if it means presiding over starving people, even if it means presiding over disempowered people. We cannot expect African leaders, these 55 men, to commit political suicide and legislate themselves out of existence. Therefore, the African leaders, the 55 men, will not allow a change in that constitution to create what you and I want. Why? President Ramaphosa wants to be a president, not a governor, not a minister of transport. Yoweri Museveni wants to be a president, not a governor or a minister of agriculture. Emerson Mnangagwa wants to be a president and not a minister of local government or the youth.
We know that we're talking about having this discussion in part because in 1884-85, Europeans sat at a table in Berlin, Germany, not a single African there, and carved up Africa into the territories that we now sometimes call countries and illogically refer to as nations. Africans didn't do that. It was Europe that did that. It was Europe and imperialism that required Africa to be divided so that the resources of Africa, both human and material, could come and pave the streets in London and grow the buildings in Amsterdam and bring clean water to New York, while the streets in Sierra Leone are not paved. And the people in Sierra Leone do not have clean water. And there's no national electric grid there. It is necessary to keep Africa divided by European imperialism and by all the imperialism in order to continue to suck the resources from Africa so that cell phones could exist here, so that Steve Jobs and the others could achieve some great notoriety from the coltan that comes from Congo, where Leopold killed at least 12 to 15 million Africans in order to conquer and keep Africa in the condition it's in today.
America has 325 million people, GDP $19 trillion. They have one president, a crazy one for now. But they've won. China has 1.4 billion Chinese, GDP $11 trillion, one leader. India, 1.2 billion Indians, GDP $2.5 trillion, one leader. Why can't we have one president in this African continent? Why 55? And I am arguing an ever closer African Union will not deliver the United States of Africa.